Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. This is Musa, Matt Meacham Jr., signing in on the globe, on Earth, and in this universe, in this solar system. Right now, I'm in the process of starting a unique type of broadcasting. I'll talk about a lot of things, but right now, I'm still talking about two characters. Those characters, Adolf Hitler and Albert Einstein. Well, we have a war going on in the Middle East, and it is my belief that this war that is going on in the Middle East will spread and eventually lead to World War III. So I'm on a crusade. It seems to me that I'm always on a crusade. If you have been following me, I was on a crusade when I was in the U.S. And my basic thing was to try to save humanity, because I look at the trends that I see today, and when I study the history of man and civilization, the same issues that caused the downfall of many civilizations before us, those same issues face us today, and that's basically that the breakdown in morality, where men begin to not rely on the rules and etiquette and the etiquette of tradition. Now it seems that it's in this society, in this culture that we live in, it seems to me that it's like a free for all, do as you please. And I think that is dangerous. The reason why it's dangerous is because you have dangerous people who live in this world. And what happens is, when we let our defenses down, it's like the hyena in the jungle. That they watch and wait, and then at your weakest point, they attack and they try to kill you and they try to eat you. I think that's the case also with humanity, and I think that we, as a humanity, we should stop and think and see what we are doing and procrastinate on where we are going. Well, let's get back to the most contemporary thing that is happening: the war in the Middle East. It didn't start when Hamas bombed and attacked those people who were dancing and singing and partying, those Jewish people who were singing and dancing and partying. It didn't begin there. It began many years ago. Not only did it begin many years ago, it began with a certain frame of thought that when those men decided to establish a Jewish state, they disregarded the humanity of another human society. And now we are on the verge of a major war. Who will be prepared? Who will be prepared when the bombs start coming? There's no place to go. Well, I think that let's think about the continent of Africa, or the people here in Africa. They're not ready. I mean, you could drop a bomb today and kill millions while they're still in their, and what they're so, they are so engaged in so many corruptions. So they are so engaged in so many corruptions that they fail to see the danger when the danger stares them right in the face. Now, let's look at a nuclear war. I know in the West, there are certain families, there are certain groups that have made preparations for the big blast. Of course, the majority of the people throughout the world, they're not ready for this catastrophe. But what I'm doing, my campaign, is say, look, let's take what we have available and and concentrate on those things which we have available. And when that blast comes, we will be ready. Now, let's look at the continent of Africa. The continent of Africa has many, many caves. Some I've never been into any of the caves here in Africa, but there are many, many, many caves in Africa. So there's a natural way that when the big blast comes, that even though the African governments have not made preparations for this big boom, God has provided a way for the native African. I'm sure there are many caves on the continent. So when the big blast comes, at least those who know where those caves are can venture to those caves until the nuclear blast, the nuclear fallout no longer exists. But we're in trouble. If you followed me on my last two videos, I was talking about the Middle East. I was talking about a man by the name of Adolf Hitler, who there was an atomic bomb during the period of World War II, but the only country that had that type of bomb was the USA. Now, Adolf Hitler, he did not have the atomic bomb, but this man contemplated and meditated on killing millions of human beings. His personal contribution to World War II was his overseeing the massacring, the murdering, and the killing of over 6 million human beings. And that was only the beginning. This man, Adolf Hitler, his whole contemplation was to wipe out the entire human Jewish the human Jewish community. His aim was to destroy, to kill the entire Jewish population. That was the contemplations of a man. He was only able personally to kill 6 million. But he was thinking about just wiping out an entire race. Not an entire race, but an entire group of people. And he succeeded in killing millions of people. Why am I talking about Adolf Hitler? Because Adolf Hitler was a man, was a human being, like all of us. And these type of thoughts go into the minds of men. Now, here we are. We live in a world where you have men who contemplate evil actions and they perpetrate evil actions. But consider this. Consider the power. Consider the power. Suppose one of these evil men are evil human beings. Maybe one begins Maybe there's one who will contemplate killing millions of human beings with nuclear weapons. The prospect of it is very great. Why? Because of the nature of mankind and what we do to each other. My crusade at this point is those who I'm surprised and grateful to see that there are people who actually watch my videos. So I think you're the fortunate ones because basically what I'll be doing is talking about history, talking about philosophy, and talking about what we should do when the big blast comes. This is Musa, Mad Meacham Jr., signing off.